Hi everyone, welcome to our event today, and we're going to be talking about the evolution of the metaverse. I'm Kay, Chief Ecosystem Pilot here at BNB Chain, and your host as well for today. And we're so privileged to have some of the most amazing speakers and guests in the industry today who'll share their valuable insights and experiences on this fascinating topic. So first, allow me to introduce our speakers here. We have Evita, the head of marketing at Coco's BCX. We're also delighted to have with us today Jason, the CEO of Outland. He will join us really soon. And then we also have Moonlight, head of community at Udiverse. We have Vera, the founder of Portually. And lastly, we have Blackie, the co-founder of MUA. Welcome, everyone. So exciting to have you here to talk about this fascinating topic today. All right, so today, these speakers bring a wealth of knowledge and expertise to the table, and we're really excited to hear from each of them. Today's session is all about this amazing campaign, which you all know we launched recently. So, in partnership with Ultiverse and MUA DAO, BNB Chain has launched the WhiteDay Metaverse Adventure of Discovery and Growth event. It is a journey where users will complete tasks to earn lost hearts in the metaverse, and it can be used to obtain, and that really can be used to get a chance to win a share of the $50K prize pool, as well as additional rewards in the Ultiverse Mission Runner. So before we start our discussion and really get going, there is something really exciting that Moonlight will show us today. And I think it's a metaverse demo. So Moonlight, take it away.
Hi everyone, welcome to today's AMA session. So exciting, and today we are going to showcase our Cyberpink and WhiteDay event. And this is head of community at Metaverse and Moonlight. I also happen to be one of the host on our Business Live. So it's glad to be a guest speaker today. And right now, everyone, like you are seeing our metaverse, and let's take a walk over there. And you can see that a lot of cherubim and it's just like spring, right? We could also see some hearts flying around, and later we might be able to see a fireworks show. So much exciting. And we can see a lot of friends are actually currently inside this metaverse to enjoy the event. We can see each of our guest names, like use their username to log in, and the link is WhiteDay.Audiverse.io, WhiteDay.uotivrs.io, and join us. This is a free event, and everyone is eligible to participate and have a chance to win the 50,000 worth of prize pool. That is really amazing. Let's walk around and take a look. And we can see there are some Japanese style gardens and lots of spring themed flowers, and we could see some kind of like snowing or some snowflakes, right, flying around. It's just amazing, like in a dream. I wonder if our guest speakers have joined our metaverse already. If you have not, please feel free to use the link I just mentioned to participate. And we could see that at the corner our participants could communicate with each other through chatting. We have group chat. This is so much fun. I remember yesterday when it just started, when it was open to everyone, I spent hours and hours inside the metaverse to demonstrate it, and I actually also live streaming it on our Binance Live. And I met a lot of our partners. I met a lot of community members. Over here, you could experience a very unique social, should we say, social connections with our friends from around the world and across different communities. Because this event, we collaborate with BNB Chain, with MoaDAO, and with over 20 amazing projects from around the world and across different Web3 spaces. And we also will provide, we together collaborate and provide over 50,000 prize pool. So friends, don't forget to check in to the Metaverse every day, because each day after you finish the tasks, you're going to receive a badge. And with that badge, you will be eligible to participate in giveaways. And then at the end of the event, which is around March 21st, if you collect all the badges, all the Audiverse badges from our BNB and Cyberpink and WhiteDay, then the first 2,500 participants will be able to claim a unique limited edition Cyberpink and WhiteDay skin for your Meta girlfriend. And that was another product that we launched last year as kind of like a holiday present. And over here, we could see all of our sponsors displays. We could stop in front of each of that and watch the short video. How about I start over here at the ES? ES is in short for Electric Sheep. And Electric Sheep is the Genesis NFT collection of Audiverse. So if we stop here and then let's take a look, see what will happen. This is a kind of like the very first time that we combine customer with business projects in the metaverse, and we make it happen all together with several months plans and development. And thank you for all of our partnerships help and with our to build this metaverse together. And we really appreciate that lots of participants have been joining the event. We could see influencers or community members posting about their metaverse experience across different social media platforms, such as on Twitter. You could see a lot of posts over there. And we could also see in the WeChat or Discord, Telegrams, friends are talking about their experience in here. So this is kind of like a garden, right, of all of our sponsors. We could see Greeties display, and we could see D-Box. And we also see Superpower Squad. We'll see our Moa DAOs names over there. Nice. And later, if you see some red hearts flying around, feel free to click on the F key to claim the hearts. They're just amazing. I believe so far we have a lot of people inside the metaverse and take a tour. Oh, over here, answer a question. Yes, if you answer a question correctly, you're also going to receive a heart. Which one is the Genesis empty collection of Audiverse? As we mentioned, the answer should be B, right? Answer should be B, Electric Sheep. Yes, if you answer correctly, then you're going to get a heart. The heart is flying around with you. Because today is March 14, right? March 14, and we know that this is called the White Day. White Day is a day full of heart, love, and adventure. We wanted to let everyone to be able to enjoy this adventure of discovery and growth about lost love. I think the whole thing is really, really beautiful. And let us remember that we are going to keep working together. Hey, I see that we have friends saying, hi guys, greeting each other within our chat box over here. Hello everyone. We are all online. We're on Binance Live. I think let's can we also go to let's see if we could find some place with different things. Maybe we could find the place where sometimes we play fireworks. Where can we see the fireworks? Oh, I believe this is a place, right? Nice, let's keep walking. And the clothing, I also like the design of the clothing over here in the metaverse because it looks so dreamy, right? And combined with some Asian Kung Fu martial art style. Let's see over here. We are going to see the firework. Let's see. Normally each day we could see the firework twice, and then this is just so beautiful. It's such an amazing thing. Perhaps today, oh yeah, we still have about an hour. That's okay. We still have an hour. So friends, be sure to come back to our whiteday.oliver's.io in an hour to see the firework. Thank you so much. And that's my showcase of our BNB Chain Cyberpink and WhiteDay Metaverse. Thank you everyone. Enjoy.
That was awesome. Thanks, Moonlight. This really, sets the stage as we deep dive into Metaverse and talk more about it. So thanks for that. So Jason has also joined us, and we're gonna get started now. And first and foremost, let's start by understanding what is Metaverse according to each one of you, and really talk us through and tell us what do you think are its core elements that are really important, based on your experiences. So, Evita, do you want to kick us off with this?
Okay, sure. Thanks, Kay. Hi, guys. This is Evita from Qualcomm BCX, and we are very glad to be part of this campaign. So, to this question, to me, the metaverse is one of the most complex and sophisticated categories in the whole Web3 world because it takes loads of time and loads of work to build, to operate, and to maintain. Yeah, but broadly speaking, I would see the metaverse as a representation of the digital civilization. Yeah, it's pretty much like in the physical world, when people who share the same interests and ideas, and they come together and they talk, they make friends, and they make connections, and then form networks, and then create a unique cultural community gradually. And when different cultures get big enough and get bigger and bigger, and then will become a civilizations, right? Yeah. So what's the key to making this metaverse work? So I think it should be the content because it's the driving force that attracts people and gets them engaged in daily life in the metaverse. Yeah, that's pretty much from my side. Thanks, Kate.
Thank you. That was amazing. All right. Vera, do you want to talk about, from your perspective, what is Metaverse? What are its key elements according to you? And where do you see it going based on how it's performed since 2021 and now?
Yeah, I would love to see it like this way. Metaverse is a parallel world that compared to our real world and is using the technology of VR, AR combined to, like the real emotions that we have as a human to create this shared immersive and interactive virtual space that combines with, the virtual reality technologies. As that being said, I think, the virtual reality is a really big part, and then the technology is really depending on can actually plan our experience in the metaverse. So for me to see it, I see the technology is a very important part of it, and also how the interaction happens with the real world is another very important part of it. Thank you.
Got it, got it. Yeah, nice. Nice that you mentioned about the technology and how it's important and how it's probably, changed the way we kind of interact with the metaverse. I mean, it should ideally get even more immersive, as more and more people kind of start interacting with it. So, all right, yeah. Jason, do you want to go next and talk about your perspective here?
Okay, yeah. This is Jason from Online Art. Happy to be here today. So for me, especially given what we do with different artists, Metaverse is just an extension of existence that manifests digitally either as an augmentation or an alternative to existence. So it is an environment where human existence are quote unquote not real, but it is also an experiment to explore the human to avatar representation. So for a lot of the artists we work with, they simply view Metaverse as another medium for them to work on. So basically, it's important for them to define what it means for people, say, in under-resources and digitally marginalized part of the world, to be represented in this different parallel world. Yeah.
Right. Thanks for that. Blackie, what's your take on it?
Thanks, Kay. Hello, everyone. This is Blackie from MUA. Really thrilled to be here today. I think when it comes to defining the word metaverse of today, has never been less problematic and strangely just cannot be exhaustive. And to us, perhaps it's not so much about providing a static definition. The MUA platform is our interpretation of the key elements of metaverse. And we want to be that agent that links the platform, the worlds, the algorithm together. And with that, we're able to give business a whole new dimension to operating. And to support that vision, the core element to us is really the talents. That is why we built MUA Academy to collaborate with a top global university like MIT and US SUTD to use our design competitions to pass the tools and torch to our next generation. So, Metaverse is new technology and new system of belief, keeps the dream and financial futures alive for our next generation. I think, when in the physical world, things like the Ukraine war and the Silicon Valley banks is collapsing and dragging us down in this downward spiral, Metaverse really stands out in this chaos as a tool of unification and as a lighthouse of hope. And at the end of the day, I think, that is the true essence of Metaverse. And that's pretty much my take on this. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I love that. When you mentioned that, it's really important that we bring in the concept of metaverse, at the education level, like, much earlier in people's lives. It's not just, we can't really build an innovative industry unless we really integrate it with the education, right from the start for people. So that's an amazing point. All right, Moonlight, coming back to you, since you gave us such an amazing tour of a metaverse, I'd love to understand from you what is your take on the metaverse and where it's going.
Thank you so much, Kay, for the question. Yes, well, actually, Metaverse is Web3 Metaverse that focus on realizing MetaFi. So we have been keep thinking, what is Metaverse? What is Metaverse supposed to be? And what are its core elements that we keep thinking and we keep realizing it, and we wanted to showcase the elements that we think might be very good additions to the metaverse and adding it. So we are dedicated to building a diverse metaverse platform, just like what people saw that in a previous demonstration, right? We could see a lot of amazing views. You could see a lot of avatars there, and each of the avatars their names, and they could walk around jumping. And our goal is always to utilize the power of MetaFi through a range of on-chain games, and also combining with the apps, the medias, to create a metaverse together with our community members, with our partners, and with other team members together. So you could see that in the previous metaverse demo, right? So a lot of people over there enjoy the view, running around, and they could chat with each other. It's a combination of social-fi and gaming and meta-fi. So that's why we call the whole, it's not just a metaverse, but we are building meta-fi. It's a combination of a lot of things. And we wanted to kind of like creating a world similar to the Oasis from the movie, the Ready Player One. I believe was a very famous movie that most of us have been watching over and over again. So we wanted to bring that to our users from around the world. That's how we think about the metaverse and the core elements of it. Thank you.
Awesome. All right. So I think now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come to each one of you based on your expertise and touch upon some of the elements around metaverse, so that we could really like deep dive into the concept and understand it more closely, from your perspective. So Vera, I'm gonna like really touch upon the DAO element in the metaverse, and it seems that a lot of people see DAOs as the fundamental governance framework, and a lot of organizations that are named after DAOs have like kind of appeared recently, such as Guild DAOs and public chain DAOs. how do you really envision the current development of DAOs, and how can we really uphold the spirit of DAOs to build the metaverse? Because I think that's going to be really important, in terms of the governance of a metaverse. Sorry, that's for Vera.
Sorry, it was I had some mute problems, but here we go. So I think DAO now is kind of became a new form of way for people to engage in the Web3. And we see like more and more people are trying to start their career in the Web3. And I think DAO is a great start. It opens opportunities for people, like, for example, for people in the Web2 that when they're looking for jobs, and we also like trace back on their education, trace back on their work experience. But then when it comes to Web3 and people come into the space and say, hey, I can do this. And then there is an opportunity for them to prove that, they're capable to do it. And I think DAO is a great place for people to start to do things that they're good at. There's really no guidelines of what you should do, but, with the DAO, that you jump on things that you're good at. And you're the one that proved that you can do it. So I think that's one of the very important part of it, and it gives people freedom for people to come and leave as well. And I think another thing is the BAYC, like Bored Ape Yacht Club, kind of shows the power of the community, in the past couple of years, and the community has been, work as like a marketing, business development department, different departments that kind of functioning as a regular LLC or cooperate. And with that being said, like people start to realize the community's value that can be, functioning as all type of the jobs that exist in the Web 2 or even Web 1 world. I think, with that realization, then people start to go in a little bit deep further to ownership, the ownership of the community, that, actually be able to, the community can actually own part of the project. Community actually can feel the ownership and making the directions of that project and getting paid. So I think that's another way that, like people, there is a fair way for people to get paid and evaluate their work in DAO, which is very different than, the existing, the Web2 world. And it creates a lot of opportunities with people having different skill set, even the skill set that they're not developed enough to be a full-time job, people still can participate as a part-time job. So, if you own like, part of something that you're already part of the DAO. So it's very welcoming, very easy to jump on, and meanwhile, very easy to contribute. But meanwhile, like, there is a rewarding system for the DAO. As you mentioned earlier, like where the DAO development is right now, but I think it's still very early. We're still at a very experiment stage of a DAO. If you think of that time, I would say maybe it's a punk time during the NFTs, that when punk was first created, and people didn't really went crazy on it. People minted at the very beginning, but then people just forget it, just kind of like, oh, it's being here. I think it's kind of like similar time of the punk of the NFTs. It's experiment that governance is very important part of it, and voting strategies, operations, and a lot of like legal parts is very important for the DAO. And we're still trying to figure out what is the right way to run a DAO, and what is a DAO supposed to be, what is the standard for a DAO, and that's something that we have not decided yet. And as I mentioned earlier, like if Metaverse is a parallel world, then people need to work in the parallel world, right? They want to provide values, then either they can be part of the game and building the game. I think as DAO being a platform or organization for people to be able to jump on and have a job in the Metaverse, not necessarily has to be, working, but like people can contribute in the way and also getting paid, which is a more sustainable way for people to be part of the Metaverse, because people cannot just only have fun, right? Like people wanted to create something more valuable, more than just have fun. They start their career there. I think DAO is a great start, but it's still very early and we're still at the experiment stage. And I'm super looking forward and excited for where the DAO is heading to. And hopefully, DAO and Metaverse can be a huge part of the Web3, and I'm really looking forward for that. Thank you.
Yeah, we're looking forward to, and you rightly mentioned that it's at a really early stage, and I think the most exciting part is that how DAOs could really provide a way for users to kind of collectively govern and manage not just the experiences but also like the incentivization in the community, and to really have a say in the direction of the metaverse as a whole. So thanks for that. All right, coming to you, Jason. How do you think artists can really hold exhibitions in the metaverse, and why do you think this entire concept is going to be really important, especially in the creator economy and overall in Web3 as we evolve, in this journey?
Yeah, so technically we've been living in metaverse for a while because most of us spend say 70 to 80% of our time online, but for a long time the UI is not as good, it's terrible actually. So it's not a human experience. But with new technologies and the internet development, it will make the whole experience more fully immersed in. But at the same time, if you compare, say, Metaverse to the history of film, we are still in the days of silent movies, I would say. There are still years, if not decades, of innovation ahead of us. Um, but for artists, it's a very exciting concept for them because it brings accessibility. So currently, the way you interact with an artist in the Web2 world, you do studio visit, you go to different shows. But for Metaverse, it is much easier as long as you have internet connection. You have the opportunity to have a face-to-face conversation with the artist, and sometimes, given different situations, the artist can actually live creating his or her or their work in real time, which before, given the limitation of technology, that cannot be done. So right now there are a couple platforms that we work with and artists use that are really bringing in that feeling of metaverse creation. So one is on Cyber. So we have worked with on Cyber on different projects. It really gives you that immersive experience, especially when you see your peers there as well, and it allows real-time conversation and different reaction with different interaction with other collectors. Another one is Decentraland. So Decentraland, they have a foundation that we work with to create the metaverse experience for artists as well. In terms of creator economy, I think it gives easier access for people who are not in a very financial supportive way to present their work in real life. It gives them a chance, an opportunity to create something that they can share with the rest of the world. So definitely it expands the horizon for artists and give a lot of collectors access to those artists along with their work.
Yeah, for sure. I think, and if we really see, like a really common, as from a common man perspective, it's just so interesting to create those experiences and holding exhibitions in the metaverse and reach a global audience, right? Which is really not which we cannot do right now, because right now if you have physical exhibitions in a city, you can't really reach the global audience in that immersive manner. So yeah, that's really interesting what you mentioned. Thanks, Jason. Moonlight, coming back to you. I wanted to understand, like, games are often seen as a great breakthrough, right, for the development of the metaverse, because we're seeing a lot of Web3 games coming in, and the only reason we're seeing a lot of Web2 gamers coming onto Web3 games is because of Metaverse and those experiences and those incentives that we can offer to the gamers, NFTs, and really building that economy, parallel economy, to the games and the entire crypto world. So how do you view this perspective? How do you see games, Web3 games, really bringing that experience to Metaverse and really changing a lot of things in terms of adoption?
Yes. Well, I am going to answer the question that closed metaverse are inherently risky. So this one, well, our opinion is that actually in the decentralized world, any closed metaverse is not sustainable. And we think that, at this stage, we might need a centralization to accelerate the building procedures. But we cannot build anything by ourselves, and then the whole councils of the Web3 need to get involved and also get engaged and participate in interaction. So that would, I think, we think that would be a better solution for this. And also, like the only other, I'm sorry, because today I'm helping Jimmy to do this one. So let me
No
see.
worries, no worries. Okay, thanks
think-
for that.
Yeah, I think the only other, and since we're talking about the market shares that can really compete with the other virtual, we wanted to apply as many, get many people to involve in this as possible. I think I actually look at the next question. Yeah, so later, let's come back later. Later, I'm going to answer.
Yeah, let's circle back on that. Thanks. Thanks for that. All right, so Blackie, coming to you, how do you feel about the concept of open metaverse and the idea that different virtual worlds and a lot of metaverses should be interoperable? Like, people can experience multiple metaverses at the same time, and there's like a real connection between, like, how we say, multi-chain future when it comes to blockchain, the same concept for metaverses. What do you have to say about that?
Thanks, Kate. That was a great question. And first of all, we're MUA DAO. We represent a group of truly talented innovators of Metaverse. And in a nutshell, MUA stands for Metaverse Universal Assets. We're the biggest supporter of open Metaverse. Our platform is a barrier-free infrastructure that helps business better connect with Metaverse and facilitate a seamless transition for that true adoption, which I would say is still pretty much lacking in our industry. All right, if you look at the standard work stream, it takes at least 2-3 weeks to create an interactive Metaverse scene of medium quality on just one platform. In our space, this is obviously super rigid. So many limitations, it's just too slow. And for MUA, interoperability and programmability is very much the key to success, and we cannot stress this enough. All right, if you look at the current state of developments at the platform level, we see immense fragmentation and disconnection. Although in the space of the metaverse, there's a very good variety of platforms available out there, like DCL, Sandbox, etc. They are using very different engine technologies, and these platforms are built on vastly different technical specifications, which makes the cross-platform implementation extremely challenging, and further developments, in fact, widen those gaps and makes platform bridging even more difficult. That is why we built our solution of the open metaverse based on 3 key principles. Like you have just said, Kate, interoperability, programmability, and active professional operations. But built our proprietary platform molecule that serves as a cross-platform connective tissue and design our system in such a way that the digital assets in our platform, organized by our super editor, allows us to easily compose and deploy high-quality scenes across all the leading metaverse platforms. And let me give you an example. In the MUA 2049, a side event held at DCL during the Token 2049 Singapore, and it took us less than a week to create the entire built environment, including 9 standard interactive venues and supporting landscape features. And these things are subsequently edited, enhanced, and repositioned through our proprietary super editor and deployed on another metaverse platform for a Halloween scenes. And from the way how we're looking at it, these programmable digital assets is really, on our open metaverse ecosystem, and they're absolutely the way to the future. And our team is putting in our sustained effort to make it even better. And that is my view on open metaverse. Thanks.
Yeah, and just a follow up on that. I heard you that you mentioned about how it's really important to bring this concept in a very educational manner, so that more and more people kind of get to understand how this can really help creators and everyone else in the wider world. But if you go back to when social media really took off, and it was basically because of the network effects, and there was so much user generated content that came in. According to you, why haven't there been like really good examples of metaverses that focus on user generated content? And I'm sure there are a lot of limitations. Do you think it's more technology related, or it's more education related? Because we're seeing from the development side, we're seeing a lot of players coming in, but we don't really see a lot of users kind of talking about their experiences openly.
Right. Thanks, Kay. I think you are touching on a very important issue here. And if you look at the current state of development again, although in the past few years, I think we've seen news of well-known IPs entering the metaverse with strategy tailoring towards the UGC, but I think that is still just a tiny fraction, especially compared to the sheer volume of business that is out there. And we know, for a fact that there are a lot of business starting to look this direction, yet actual progress delivered on the ground has been very slow. And these challenges, from our perspective, really starts from the very foundational level, which is the lack of really the true utilities. And because of that, there's insufficient users, the lack of professional operations. Actually, these are the things that actually serves as a source of inspiration for us. We are really dedicated to build that barrier-free infrastructure that really helps this business to bridge the gap and connect to the metaverse in the most painless way, I would say, possible, right? And our product offerings are pretty much centered around the concept and to target to resolve these key difficulties with our integrated solutions. I would say the first thing we want to focus is perhaps still that true utilities. We do listen to our clients, and we define the ways that metaverse can truly enhance their business. And we can pick and choose the necessary key ingredients produced by the MUA super editor. And these items are fully compatible with all major platforms, and it can be easily assembled just like Lego pieces, right? To support a full spectrum of business activities and requirements. And this makes it so much easier to tailor these utilities towards their business intentions. Just like today, where everyone can see it, right? And with these true utilities, the next stop is really to bring in the sufficient user, creators, and gamers through our communities and ecosystem to ensure there are a closed loop ecosystem and a great habitat available to support healthy UGC. Then, we work on our operations, which is, again, extremely important, and many platforms overlook this. And if you look at the case of the commercial event planning in the traditional sense, there are a lot of companies, they want to outsource the whole package of event planning to a preferred service provider and execute those events based on the great budget, process, and etc. And all these are extremely convenient for brands and business. But in the current digital world, we are severely lacking in terms of trusted service providers that can actually recreate this tailored experience. And we have built a multidisciplinary professional team centered on this metaverse one-stop solution to make sure this process, is as easy, as friendly to business as possible. And together with our MREIT as ownership syndication platform, we're able to build that sustainable token economy around this business model. And right now, we're seeing strong traction from the real world economy and the leading business innovators, which I would say is absolutely encouraging. And that is my answer to a question, Kate.
No, thanks. That's very informative and comprehensive. Thanks for that. And by the way, I was just looking at our YouTube, kind of streaming, and there's a lot of engagement, a lot of listeners out there, and there are also some interesting questions. And I'm going to pick that up since we really got into the technology, and there is a user that who kind of talks about how do you really plan to ensure the safety and security of player assets and personal information within the game, because that is again going back to my point of the social media and how it evolved, and then initially no one really cared about the data, the information that they were really kind of taking, and then integrating it with an entire new business model. And then we saw ads coming up, and that changed everything. We only kind of started bothering about it 10 years later. So when we're actually building metaverses, and we're innovating with NFTs and metaverses and all of that, how do you think we should be thinking about the safety and security? And I see Frank's joined us as well. Frank, I'd love to hear this from you. I'm not sure if you heard the full question. I can repeat that.
Yes. Hey, Kay. Hey, guys. Thanks for having me. Can you just repeat the question?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so actually, we were talking about why metaverse is at a very nascent stage, and there's a lot to do with how the technology is evolving and how the education is evolving, and we still don't see a lot of user generated content the way we saw when kind of social media hit off. And there was a question from one of our listeners, and they're asking about how do we really plan to ensure the safety and security of player assets and personal information within the game. And I just said that this also happened in the entire social media game, where we actually didn't think about this when it really started, and then after 10 years everyone was bothered about the data theft and all of that. So what's your take on that?
Yeah, I think that's a good question. To ensuring the security in the metaverse is a complex challenge that requires a multi-phases to approach, I would say. So I think there are like several key strategies that we may be able to apply. I think the first to come to my mind is like strong authentication, such as like two-factor authentication and maybe like a geologic-based authentication. I think this can help to prevent like unauthorized access to user accounts and protect against the identity theft. And also like encrypted communication is another way. So using encryption technology such as like SSL and TLS, and maybe end-to-end encryption, which can help to secure communication between users and preventing the tampering with data. And also another way is like and for sure like smart contracts, right, which can help to automate transactions and enforce rules and conditions which reduce the risk of fraud and manipulation. And maybe also the I would say regulation and compliance, right? Regulation oversight and compliance with data protection and the cybersecurity standards, which can help to ensure that metaverse platforms are held accountable for any security breach or failures, and user data is protected according to the established standards. Yeah, I think that's my couple cents.
Yeah, no, thanks a lot. And I'm glad that we're actually thinking about this at this early stage, which is the right thing to do. And really following up on some of these challenges, Evita would come to you. Can you talk about what are the technical and ethical challenges do you think kind of exist that we need to overcome together as a community to create a more inclusive and safe environment in metaverses?
Okay, thanks, Kate. Honestly, I'm not the technology expert, but I would like to share some thoughts based on my observations. So, firstly, I completely agree with the concept of open metaverse, as you mentioned earlier, and totally agree with what Becky said. But the open metaverse, it will bring a major technical challenge is achieving the smooth interoperability. So to achieve that goal, the standardization is very necessary because it includes the protocol standards and digital access standards like the avatar and space asset standards. And additionally, it requires coordinations among various platforms and communities, and this will also bring security and privacy problems. So that's the first thing. I think that's the technical challenges. And the other challenges will be the low latency and the rendering issues. Because when we think of the metaverse, as we discussed earlier, we repeat one word a lot of time, it's immersive, right? So to achieve this one, it requires solving the low latency and the rendering issues. The rendering and the sync multiple users on the same screen is a very complex challenge with current technology. As far as I know, the character precision, such as having more than 10,000 surfaces, creates a very heavy rendering load when a lot of people are on the same screen. So therefore, the rendering optimization and adaptation need to be very carefully designed. Yeah. And the other challenge, I think Blackie also mentioned, is the ease of use of UGC tools. Yeah, like I mentioned earlier, content is a driving force for attracting people and engaging in the metaverse. So creator tools are critical for building the metaverse, and all creators need to work together to create this digital world. So the design of the tool should aim to lower the creation threshold and enrich the content to enable more creators to participate. Thanks, Kay.
Thanks. That's really interesting that you mentioned about the content. It's I think a key element of really getting UGC going, and really making metaverses more immersive and engaging. And yeah, I'm going to repeat the question that we discussed, Frank, before you joined, and I think you're the right person to really touch upon that. So, our games are often seen, as kind of like key breakthrough for the development of metaverse, because via gaming we were able to like get a lot of adoption in the entire Web3 world. How do you feel about this? And do you think it's important to really launch new metaverse based games to really for the entire Web3 adoption?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think that's a growing consensus among people that games have a potential to play a significant role in metaverse or the crypto war, right? And I think there are several reasons. First is like for the user engagement. Games are known for like a high level of user engagement, which can make it a very ideal medium for introducing people to metaverse and also crypto world. And also like blockchain technology provides a new way of creating and managing the in-game assets, making it easier to monetize games and create a new economy with them, which is very helpful for the user engagement in the metaverse. And also like as the metaverse expands, virtual real estate is like becoming more valuable. Games offers a way for people to acquire virtual real estate and build a community within the metaverse. And also like NFT, which is the non-fungible tokens, are becoming increasingly popular in the gaming world. NFT allows players to own unique in-game items that can be bought, sold, and traded, and they can bring that from one game to the other. And also like decentralized governance can be used as a platform, or games can be used as a platform for like experimenting the decentralized governance, and where players have a say in the direction of the game. And overall, I think like a game have the potential to be a key driver in the development of the metaverse, or maybe the go-to-market strategy. And their importance is like only expect to grow in the coming years.
Right. Yeah. Thanks, Frank. I think that's that's all from the questions side. I don't see any more interesting questions on the comment section. So I think it's been an amazing discussion on metaverse, and we touched upon quite a lot of interesting elements, ranging from content to technology to education and interoperability. So it's really interesting. And now I'm gonna summarize the campaign for our listeners, which is about. So if you want to really know more, check out the Ultiverse Discord server and Mission Runner for all the latest information on the WhiteDay Metaverse Story campaign and the rewards and the mission details. And as you can see, users will be able to download the game starting March 12th, and the event officially kicked off today with this discussion, and will run through 11:30 a.m. UTC on March 21st. So that's for all the users, and for all the builders. Stay tuned and stay connected with BNB Chain, and let's build Web3 together on BNB Chain and get the next billion users on board. And lastly, I want to thank all of you that you joined this discussion today, and we were able to cover so many interesting topics around metaverse. So really want to thank everyone for joining in. All right, that was all for today. See you soon, and have a good one, everyone.
Hi, Kay. Actually, at today's AMA, can we showcase the firework in the metaverse? It's about time. It's just in time, and that would be a great.
Oh yeah, let's do that. Yeah, sorry, I forgot about that. Yeah, let's do that now.
Awesome. And might to share the screen. Thank you. So Kay, you should see a screen is about to share. Awesome.
Yeah, we can see that.
We're waiting for the firework. Oh, over here. Yeah, so every day our audience can come here to enjoy the amazing firework in this metaverse and celebrate Cyberpink and WhiteDay with friends from around the world. This is really epic. So we hope everyone enjoy the event together. Thank you for organizing this event. Thank you, Kay, for hosting the event. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for showing this, Moonlight. It was amazing. And like I said, thanks everyone for joining today. Oh, there is more. All right. Well, that was that. Fireworks in the metaverse. And we'll see you soon. Have a good one, everyone. Thanks for joining.
Thanks, Kate.